So continuing on with Henry Akins' no-gi mesocycle. We've covered a lot of stuff. We're going to look at now things Matthew will be doing from the bottom. So say from here he hasn't managed to win that underhook and he's starting to get onto the side. So his escape from there would be to stretch his arm out, pull his elbow back and get to his knees, and then he can start working this game from here. First thing I'm thinking about, especially when he wins that underhook without changing my side control position, is my left hand is just going to cup at his elbow. Now again, if he knows jiu-jitsu, he'll not be giving me a profile just to define that. He'll have made a wedge in here. So from that position, I can just come in at the back and find that tip of the elbow. Now we can't pluck it, we'll look at that in a different vid. But one thing I can do is, because if I try to transition to scarf hold from here, especially when Matthew, the counter to the transition is Matthew's just going to lean his head into the mat. So if I try to pluck this and actually get the scarf hold, it's just not going to happen because I can't get my hand behind his head. And anyway, when I go to pluck this, he'll know I'm looking to transition to scarf hold and he'll glue the back of his head to the mat. So the detail is, my hand monitors this, but I don't pluck it. Now I'm going to wait until he stretches, and now notice the back of his head isn't on the mat. So now my right hand comes around. I just get the crook of my arm around the back of his neck, and now I'm going to pluck this, sit through. Notice the way I'm a little bit high on his head. So now from this position, I will use my feet as a base to move my hip back. And now I'm looking to get on his diaphragm. So it's just that sagging down. Remember the detail on the diaphragm choke is, the only part of my body on the mat is my feet, not my elbow. So I'm sinking back, sorry bro, and then I'm just sagging down to try and get that pressure here. I'm just going to add in one submission from here. Everybody, the escape is the body lock. Matthew's going to move his hip out. Again, just to get back, so you don't want to move your hip that way. Yes, and now he's loading me over for the escape. The second he body locks me, especially if it's tight, I'm going to bring the crook of my arm around his arm and go hand to hand. And if he's silly enough to keep the tension from there, there's a nice little shoulder lock from that position. Okay, but again, it's easy stop from that position. If he lets go hand to hand, now there's no tension in the arm. But the minute he lets go, I can now possibly straight arm lock and we're back into a whole load of stuff, fist in the throat and all that stuff again. So one more time on that. So we're in our position and he's managed to win that underhook. Again, I know he wants to get to the side. The goal probably will be for him to get to his knees. For him to get to his knees, watch what he has to do with this elbow. It has to come under him. So when my hand is here, the minute his head comes off the mat, now from there I'm plucking that, and then he just sit through. In this transition, you'll be quite high on the shoulder line. So you're going to use your feet to push to get back onto that diaphragm, and then I'm going to be pulling with my legs. My right hand grabs my hamstring, and then I just sag down. Now Matthew's sort of got a little bit of an angle there, so I want to make sure I'm continually flattening him out, and then, just sagging back. Getting just that sweet spot with my lat pushing into his diaphragm. Again, we did a whole mesocycle on this a few years ago, and there's a separate system on it.